Number 41 is the go-kart. This car is possibly the worst. It has a ram to its head, even though it's already short, and its back protection isn't too great, as you can see. Also, it's like possibly the worst tiny car. Number 40 is the snow racer. It's basically the same exact thing as the go-kart. Number 39 is a sleigh. This car is fast, but again, it's tiny and, well, not too great in the back. Number 38 is the gift box. This car can float, and also its head is completely exposed. Number 37 is the shopping cart. This car is a lot taller than the other ones, and also its back protection is pretty alright. Number 36 is the penguin slider. This car can float, and also it's really fast. Number 37 is the motocross bike, and I know this car is really flimsy, but it does have a good height advantage against these other cars. Number 34 is the quad bike. It's basically the same thing as the motocross bike, except it's more sturdy. Number 33 is the skater cow because of its height and also stability. Number 32 is the bumper car because of its bounce mechanic and also because it has pretty good protection. Number 31 is Egg Mobile because of its bounce mechanic and also because it has a pretty good height advantage against the other cars. Number 30 is the bump around because it actually gradually speeds up over time as you drive. Number 29 is the piranha. This car can float, and also enemies' bodies can get stuck in its mouth, which can basically stabilize them. Number 28 is the kick sled. It has some pretty cool, weird physics, and also its back protection is pretty bad. Number 27 is the antique automobile. This car does have some pretty good protection, but it's just way too flimsy. Number 26 is the rowboat. This car can float, and also it can get a pretty good wheelie on cars, and also its speed is pretty good. Number 25 is the amphibian. It has more protection than the rowboat, and yeah, it can also float. Number 24 is the Weevil. This car has zero protection on any sides, and yeah, its head is really exposed. Number 23 is the hot rod. This car is pretty fast. Also, it does have some pretty good protection. It's a pretty small built car. Number 22 is the Teed Off 2. This car is an excellent rusher, but in King of the Hill, its back protection is very lacking. Number 21 is the Antique Formula. This car is a pretty decent car. It's like the staple car of Drive Ahead because it is actually the first car that you get. Number 20 is the off-road vehicle. This car is pretty fast. Its protection is actually alright. Number 19 is the soccer delivery car. You can use its back to actually protect yourself, and also the soccer balls can be sort of useful. Number 18 is the snowmobile, and the rest of these cars for now are going to be kind of small, but they have really good speed, which I believe actually matters more. The speed is actually very important in this game. Number 17 is the snow cycle. This car is actually pretty fast and stable, and its front protection is pretty good. Number 16 is the motorbike. This car's front protection is even better, and it's also maybe a bit faster and more stable. Number 16 is the motorbike. This car's front protection is actually even better, and it's way faster, but it is actually less stable. Number 14 is the brass bike. It's also a really good rusher, and its back protection is pretty bad. Number 13 is Piranha Terror. This car is also a really good rusher, but yeah, again, its back protection is pretty bad. And also, I believe it can float. Number 12 is the sports car. It's just a regular car. It's pretty average. Number 11 is the Roadster. This car is fast. It can do a pretty good wheelie, and also its head is very enclosed in its body. Number 10 is the Skull Crusher. This is another rusher with bad back protection, and also it has a very bendy front, which may be very useful and dynamic. Number 9 is the Motosaurus. This car can float. Also, it has some pretty cool knockback with spikes, but you need to time it perfectly or else you're gonna die because of the ramp to its head. Number 8 is a Steel Crab. This car isn't so fast, but its protection is pretty good, which is also pretty important. I would say its speed is about average. Number 7 is the baby carriage. This car's speed is also kinda average, but its protection is pretty great. And yeah, it's the best tiny car in the game. Number 6 is the hearse. This car can get a really good height advantage against most cars. Also, its coffin can actually float and can actually kill enemies in water. It keeps on bouncing up, it's really weird. Number 5 is the Bogzilla. It's basically a larger version of the off-road vehicle. And yeah, it's just like way better. Because it's just way faster, and also it has some pretty weird mechanic where like it can like sort of stick onto surfaces, sorta. Number 4 is the Fossil. This car's bendy body can basically attack most cars pretty easily, and also its high advantage just makes it even better. Number 3 is a Snowy car. It's basically like an average car, and its protection is really good because its body is basically enclosed in itself. And yeah, you can actually go upside down with it, sorta. Number 2 is the Timber Lorry. This car's back protection is possibly the best of all the common cars. And it's basically like a truck, so it's obviously just going to be better because it's the only truck on the list. And as you know, trucks have really good high advantage. Number 1 is the Robobike, and I know you guys are thinking, how is Robobike number 1? Well, its wheel is just so versatile. You can use it in so many ways. Number 40 is the Alien Attack Drone. This car is a tiny car, its wheels are very unstable, and of course it can shoot lasers. Number 37 is the Penguin Prisoner. This car has no protection and it's pretty short. Number 36 is the Spiky car. Its head is connected to a stick, which is really unstable. Its speed is alright, but its head is really exposed. Number 35 is the Street Sweeper. It has some back protection, it's short, and it has no front protection, but its wheelie can protect its front. Number 34 is the Stegosaurus. This is a pretty heavy car. It's slow and it has a ramp to its head. Its head is also really exposed. Number 33 is the Firework. This car has no protection at all. It's really unstable when it flies, but it's a really good rusher and can rush opponents that have no front protection. Number 32 is the Snowcat. No good front protection. Back protection is pretty good. It's a heavy car and it's really slow. Number 31 is the Rickshaw. Comparing it to its counterpart, the Street Sweeper, the Rickshaw is taller, faster, and has more back protection. Plus, its head is more enclosed. Number 30 is the Burger Bike. This car is very unstable and its head is really exposed, but it does have a nitro boost ability and it does also have a pretty good height advantage. Number 29 is the Lowrider. It has alright speed, it has some protection in the front, but its bouncy wheels hinder its movement speed. Number 28 is Lucky. This car has some pretty good back protection. It's also really fast, but it is short. Number 27 is the Caterdog. This car has some pretty good front protection. Its back protection isn't that good. It's also really flimsy and its speed isn't that great either. Number 26 is the Pterodactyl car. This car is a pretty good rusher. Again, it's really short and its protection is not too bad. Number 25 is the Hog, another nitro boost user. Really good speed. Protection isn't that great in the front or back, but it's really fast. Number 24 is the Velociraptor. This car is really fast. It is light and small. It's also a really good rusher. Number 23 is the Limousine. This car can do a wheelie with its entire front, giving it some pretty good front protection. Its back protection is really bad though. I would say its speed is alright. Number 22 is the American car. This is a pretty standard car. It has some pretty good back and a little bit of front protection with the windows, and its head is really enclosed. Number 21 is the Tractor. This car has really good front protection. Its back protection is really bad though. Its head also tends to rotate to the ground, making it pretty flimsy. Number 20 is the Chariot. This car has similar bad back protection to the Tractor. It also has better front protection and better speed. Number 19 is the Rock Wheel. This car has some pretty good back protection and it can do a wheelie with its saw. It sort of has a ramp to its head, but that ramp can also be used to pick up opponents. Number 18 is the Snow Coach. This car has pretty good speed. Its back protection is also really good. Number 17 is the garbage truck. This car contains garbage bags in its back. Its back protection is also pretty good, and it can do a pretty good wheelie. Number 16 is the concrete mixer. It's kind of similar to the garbage truck, except it has better back protection and its wheelie is better because its back extends more. Number 15 is the pickup truck. This car has some items in its back that sometimes cause it to kill itself, so you gotta be careful of that, but other than that, it's a pretty good car. It has some pretty good back protection and its speed's alright. Number 14 is the snow truck. This car has really good back protection. It's really heavy, and I'm pretty sure it's not too fast, but its speed I think is normal. Number 13 is the timber lorry. This car has some pretty good back protection. It has some pretty good speed as well. Its wheelie is not bad, and of course it has logs, which can be used to kill enemies. Number 12 is the tow truck. This car has an iron rod on its back, giving it good back protection and a better wheelie. It can also be used to go upside down. Number 11 is the car carrier. This car holds 2 carts which can slow down other cars which run over it. This is a really strong car and its speed's pretty good. Plus it has 3 wheels, giving it more stability. Number 10 is the cattle truck, another strong car with good back protection, and it even has a cow inside. Number 9 is the tripod. This car has really good protection and speed, but the car itself is really flimsy. Number 8 is the golf cart. This car is fast. It also has really good protection, and it even has some golf clubs which can be used to attack the opponents. Number 7 is the moon rover. It has some pretty good front protection. Its back protection isn't that great. I would compare it to the horse car. Number 6 is the skid steer loader. It's basically like the new forklift. It has good front protection. It can pick up opponents, and it can also bounce with its front. Number 5 is the flying saucer. This car has a new low gravity mechanic, giving it faster movement speed. It also has a new ability to grab opponents, and it has a pretty good height advantage. Number 4 is the celestial teapot. This car is pretty bouncy, its speed's alright, and it has protection on both sides. Number 3 is the prehistoric car. This car has really good protection, but because of its blocky wheels, it isn't really that fast. Number 2 is the firework truck. The main reason it's this high is because of its ability to shoot a barrage of fireworks, which it can even use to fly. Number 1 is the Parasaurolophus. Against all these cars, it has a way better height advantage. Also, it has some pretty good front and back protection, and its speed is also pretty good as well. Number 40, and the worst rare car in Drive Ahead, is the Urn Launcher. It has bad protection, and its ability can be strong, but is unreliable. Number 39 is the Mantis Shrimp. It's flimsy, it has bad back protection, its front protection is also really flimsy, but it's able to rush some opponents. Number 38 is the Helmet Car. Its head is exposed, and it has no protection, but its speed's pretty good. Number 37 is the Snowman Car. It does have some good protection around the head, but it is considered a tiny car because of its wheels and can be easily pushed around by opponents. Number 36 is the Tendabot. It has a slow movement speed because of its springy body that weighs it down. Number 35 is the Travel Trailer. This car can do a wheelie with its back. Its back protection is pretty good, except its front is really exposed. Number 34 is the Ice Glider. This car is fast, it's really unstable though, and it has very little protection. Number 33 is the Coupe. It is a short car, and its head is really exposed. Also, its body prevents it from moving sometimes. Number 32 is the Soccer Cannon. Its protection is really good, its speed is alright, but the main reason it dies a lot is because it snipes itself a lot. Number 31 is the Dancing Lion. This car has bad back protection. It has good speed, also its front protection is really good. It can bounce around with its head as well. Number 30 is the Soccer Shoe. It doesn't look like the best car, it has a ramp to its head, also its back protection isn't that great, but its head is actually pretty enclosed, and also its speed is really good. Number 29 is the Pumpkin Car. This car's head is really exposed, but it's able to use its bendy wheels to get height advantage. Number 28 is the Taurus Bus. This car's head is really exposed in the front, its back protection is therefore really good. Number 27 is the Minibus. It's like the Taurus Bus, except its head is more enclosed. Number 26 is the Prison Van. Its prisoner sometimes gets stuck in its wheel and prevents it from moving. Number 25 is the Hippie Van. The main difference it has between the other cars is a window in front of its head that gives it extra protection. Number 24 is the ambulance. The difference it has between the prison van is that it has a patient, and you can do some pretty cool glitches with that. And just as a quick note for anyone in the comment section, this glitch isn't the only reason why I put the ambulance in this spot. There are other factors like its siren, which protects its head really well. Number 23 is the tanker truck. This car has really good back protection. Also, you can go upside down without dying, but you won't be able to get back up again. Number 22 is the toxic waster truck. This car has similar protection to the tanker truck, except it's faster, and it also has some toxic cans inside which could kill opponents. Number 21 is the landfill truck. This car is exactly the same as the toxic waster truck, except it does have cement. I guess the bigger cement pieces could roll to opponents, but they're basically tied in this ranking, I guess. Number 20 is the Hexabot. Yes, its protection is really good, but its movement is really bad. Number 19 is the Shredder. This car has good front protection, meaning that it can protect itself from rushers. Also, it can do a wheelie with its saw. Number 18 is the Snowball Cannon. This car has good back protection. Also, its head is pretty enclosed. It also has a snowball projectile, obviously. Number 17 is the Snowball Bike. It's like the Snowball Cannon, except its protection is in the front and it's faster. Number 16 is the Bulldozer. This car is slow, but it is heavy and can push opponents easily. Number 15 is the Asphalt Paver. It's like the Bulldozer, except better because it has more front protection, but its back protection is really weak, and also I believe it's heavier. Number 14 is the Police Car. Its siren protects its head a little bit. Its head is pretty enclosed, and I guess you could say it's one of the normal cars. Number 13 is the Speedboat. This car is a rusher. Also, it has some protection in the front. Number 12 is the Off-Road Truck. This car has good back protection, and its front protection is also pretty good with its window. And the car itself is another normal speed car. Number 11 is the Formula. It does have a ramp to its head, but it can protect its head with a wheelie, which can be easily done due to that flat area on the Formula's back. Number 10 is the Allosaurus. It has good front and back protection depending on which side you tilt towards. It's also a decent rusher. Number 9 is the Saw Bike. It's a really good rusher and really good for 1v1. It also has really good front protection, obviously. Number 8 is the Gunboat. It can float and shoot. It has a bullet for knockback. Number 7 is the Army Bike. It's a good rusher with its nitro boost ability. Its gun also has some pretty good knockback. Number 6 is the Catterdog Sled. The Catterdog can protect and surround the head. The Catterdogs also have a very long reach. Number 5 is the Hovercraft. It has an enclosed head and can kind of go upside down. It can also go upside down in water, and yes, it can float. It's also bouncy, and its speed is normal. Number 4 is the Rocket Launcher. The protection, or the rocket, comes off pretty easily. Without the protection, the car is actually faster. Number 3 is the Christmas Tree. As you can see, its protection is really good, and its only downside is that it's kind of heavy, meaning that its speed isn't really that good. Number 2 is the Ice Cream Truck. This car's protection is really good because it only comes off when an opponent hits it off. Otherwise, it will stay on. Number 1 is the Sawbot. Its movement gets slowed down by the saws, but the saws protect its head really well. Number 54 is the Skeletor Fantastique, and the reason it's last place is because, well, it's really not that fast. It's really short, and it's really easy to get the head, and it is also very bouncy, which could be useful sometimes, but mostly not. Number 53 is the Bat Holder, and this car's eye is actually very useless. It shoots out a laser, and most of the time it never hits. Number 52 is the Jelly Shock, and like I said in my other video, if it was a bit taller, it probably would be a really good car because it would make it really difficult to get to the head, and that knockback would be really powerful. Number 51 is the Doom Bomber, and I've actually heard some feedback, and apparently it's not that great. It only is fast when it gets rid of its bomb, and usually that's only on open maps, and usually that's only in King of the Hill. Number 50 is the Doom Bot. Same kind of reason as the Doom Bomber, it's just very self-destructive, and instead of it being one giant explosive bomb, it's multiple bombs, which is actually very annoying. Number 49 is the Laser Tank. This car is slow, and its only advantage is its lasers. It doesn't have any head protection, and yeah, the lasers are really OP because they shoot multiple lasers at once. Number 48 is the Hot Wheels High School Bus, and yeah, this, as you can see, this car, it's kind of like the same thing as the Laser Tank structure, except it just has a very big body, which actually is pretty good for protection. Number 47 is the Backdrafter. It's basically the exact same thing as the laser tank and also the Hot Wheels High School Bus, except it is faster, which does make it better. Number 46 is Specimen X because, well, it does have a ramp to its head, except it kind of protects its head a bit as well. And also, it can release a cow, which actually can help it sometimes. Number 45 is the Army Truck, and this car is actually pretty fast in the front, I think, and in the back it's really bad, mostly because it gets clogged up with its Army tank, the mini one, which is kind of useless. Number 44 is the Gun Truck, and it's basically like the Army Truck without the mini Army person, and it's a bit slower, but it does have a gun, which makes it automatically better. Number 43 is the Cloud. It is actually very fast. It does a pretty cool bounce mechanic, but yeah, its protection is not that great. I kind of like the car, which is why I put it a bit higher than it should be, but yeah, it's alright. Number 42 is the Void Hopper, and the only reason it's this high is because of its speed. It is actually really good and can help it in many situations. Number 41 is the Abyss EO, and yeah, I know I kind of like ridiculed it in the last video, I think, but it can get a pretty good height advantage against most of these cars, so that might make it better, you know? Number 40 is the Kraken Bait, and his protection is actually pretty good. And it also does shoot a Kraken bait, which maybe helps a little bit. Number 39 is the Alien Spaceship, and the only reason it's this low is because its protection is not that great. Also, its movement is kind of weird, similar to the Void Engine. Number 38 is the Muscle Car. This car isn't that great either. Not that great protection. Its speed is pretty good though. Number 37 is the Beast, and this car is pretty good in the front, but its back is not that great. It's very flimsy in the back. I hate going backwards with this car. Number 36 is the Penguin Minions. This car, well, it's really like breakable, and when the car breaks, it loses a lot of its stability. Number 35 is the Sauropod. This car is kind of slow, and also it does have a ramp on its backside, but its front protection is actually pretty decent. Number 34 is the Emperor Carriage. This car actually has a lot more height. Actually, it's more stability wise, that's why it's better, and also it has pretty good speed as well. Number 33 is the Papa Wheelie. It does have a really good wheelie, obviously, but its back speed is very bad, and its protection is pretty bad as well. Number 32 is the Broom Bike. This car has some pretty good weird physics, but because of its height and also protection, it's not that high on the list. Number 31 is the Excavator. This car is basically like the Wrecking Ball, except its arm doesn't kill it, and also its speed is pretty good, and stability wise, pretty good as well. Number 30 is the Wrecking Ball. This car is only this high because of its buff. Other than that, it would be a pretty bad car because it can basically kill itself, which is the main reason why I got a buff, but yeah, it's still not that good. Maybe better in 1v1 situations. Number 29 is the Taxi. This car is basically like any other regular car, except it does have a bit of protection in the back, which is actually pretty good. Number 28 is the Horse. It has good speed, and also it has a stabbing unit in the front, which is actually very useful. Number 27 is the Bubble Car. This car is really good in protection. Its only weakness is that it's not that fast, so it's not good against saws. Number 26 is the Pumpkin Carriage. It is a really good rusher. Its front protection is alright if it does rush, and its back protection is also really good as well, except its back speed is pretty slow. Number 25 is the Space Interceptor. It's also a rusher, except it does have a ramp to its face, but its weird physics does make it better in some situations. Number 24 is the Snowball Tank. This car is actually surprisingly pretty good, mostly because of its snowballs, which actually travel really slowly, and it's actually very good for its height because they can get you out of some pretty sticky situations sometimes. Number 23 is the Fire Truck. The only reason it's like not on the top is because, well, it does have good protection, but it's just slow. Like, it's not that slow, but it's like medium speed, which is not that great. Number 22 is the invisible car. This car is kind of weird because when it goes up like ramps, it gets kind of clogged sometimes. That's kind of weird, but its weird physics and also bounce mechanic is pretty good. Number 21 is the locomotive, probably the most underrated car in the game. Its power is very good, but its only weakness is its backside, which actually isn't that bad either because it does have some pretty good height advantage. Number 20 is Shark Mobile, and I know I've disowned this car many times. I'm sorry, Rock Racer, but I'm gonna put it higher this time. I use this car a bit more, and you know what? It's not that bad. It's worse in water though, so whatever. Number 19 is the Freezer for obvious reasons. Honestly, it should be higher, but out of the other cars, probably not. Its freeze mechanic is also really good as well. Number 18 is the Mammoth with good back protection and also really good speed. Number 17 is the Hover Car with good protection, speed, and also its ability to grip on basically anything, including water. 17 is the Banana Car. It's basically like the Bubble Car, except it is much faster and actually is much more stable. Number 15 is the Street Wiener because of its speed. Its protection is not that good, but its speed is like the very most important thing about it. Number 14 is the Sphankster. It's kind of like the Skeletal Ride, except it's much shorter, and its tail is actually very useful. Number 13 is the Dragster. This car is actually very fast. It can do a pretty good wheelie, except its only disadvantage is that it is really short and it does have a ramp to its face. Number 12 is the Skeletal Ride. It's basically like the Frankster, except taller. And yeah, again, its wheel is very powerful and its front protection is actually a lot better now. Number 11 is the Space Gallop. This car is actually like one of the best protection in the game. Other than the Space Car, its only disadvantage is that its shell breaks off pretty easily, so you might want to not go that fast and just stay in one spot, so it's better in King of the Hill. Number 10 is the Space Shuttle. Because of its protection as well as its speed, it can't really do a wheelie that well, but you gotta work with it. Number 9 is the Forklift Truck. The most iconic part about it is its forklift, and also its ability to jump with the forklift, which actually is very useful. Number 8 is the Spruce Delivery Truck, and I know it's basically just like the Space Gallop, except I think it's actually better than its protection, because after it lets go of its tree, it still actually gets faster, and also it's actually like a normal car. Number 7 is a Yacht, possibly the best floating car. It has good height, it's also very strong. It's like the best floating tank. Number 6 is the Rift Spider. This car's arms are actually very useful. It has a really good height advantage against other cars, and yeah, it's just really good. I don't see any flaws in it, except maybe that it's not that great in protection sometimes. Number 5 is the Hercules Beetle. This car actually isn't that fast, but it's like normal speed in the front. Backside pretty slow, but that's alright because it makes up for it with a really good knockback in the front, which means its front protection is actually really good. Number 4 is the Minelander. This car's mines are very OP. Basically, the strategy is to place 2 down and watch chaos unfold. Number 3 is the Harpoon, not the Harpooner. Okay, it's called Harpoon first of all. And yeah, it's really good in 1v1s because it can just grab onto someone and just yeet them across the entire map. Number 2 is the Crystallizer because of its really good back protection, mostly because of its crystals. The crystal can freeze the enemy and also kill them, which is actually very useful. Number 1 is obviously Ghost Dragon. Everyone already knew this, okay? It was obviously going to be number 1. Honestly, it's kind of funny how it's an epic, because it really should just be an ultra legendary or something. It's one of the best cars in the game. Number 45 is the Personal Transporter. This car is really bad. It can't even go up ramps. Number 44 is the Penguin Minions. This car is really flimsy, and its head is really exposed. And it did get a new ability, but that ability kind of sucks. Number 43 is the Dragon Tank. It's a really slow car, to be honest. Its projectiles are really bad. Its protection's alright, but it's still a pretty bad car. Number 42 is the Ghost Bike. This car is basically like the Invisible Car, except it's worse because it has less protection Number 41 is the Space Scallop. This car's protection is really good, except it can come off really easily, and this is why it's not that great. Number 40 is the Summoner. The car itself is really bad. There's like barely any protection to it, but its ability is really powerful. Number 39 is the Planet Explorer. This car is slow, but its front protection is really good. Number 38 is the Rocket Sleigh. This car can be flimsy sometimes, but it's really fast and it can perform mid-air flight, meaning that it can fly in the air without falling down. Number 37 is the Rocket Ride. This car can easily just rush smaller opponents and absolutely destroy them. Also, it can perform mid-air flight just like the Rocket Sleigh. Number 36 is the Cannon Carriage. This car has pretty good protection and its explosions are really strong. Number 35 is the Ghost Train. Its speed is actually pretty normal. Also, it's very strong and its front protection is really good. Number 34 is the Atomic Ray. It has a laser beam, and also its protection is alright, I guess. It's kind of a lie. Number 33 is the SWAT Van. This car has two little SWAT dudes. Also, its movement speed is pretty fast, at least in the front. Number 32 is the Triceratops. I know it has a new ability, but it's only in its horn. Also, its movement speed is kind of normal, honestly. Protection is alright in the front. Maybe it could be better in the back. Number 31 is the Blast Fish. This car's front protection is really good combined with its ability to blast people away, and on certain maps, especially in King of the Hill, this can be really broken. Number 30 is the Roller Toaster. This car's movement speed isn't really that good, but its toast can hit opponents, which can actually be useful. Number 29 is the RCU. It has a Black Hole Cow ability, which can pull in opponents. Also, its front protection is really good. Number 28 is the Steamroller. This is the strongest car in the game in terms of like actual like pure strength. And yeah, it just has really good front protection and it's very thick. Number 27 is the Tank. It's faster than the Steamroller, less thick than the Steamroller, but it has a missile launcher thing and it can stab opponents. Number 26 is the Voltage Spike. This car is fast. Its head is very enclosed, meaning that its protection is pretty decent. Number 25 is the Cosmic Squid. It has double layered protection with the tentacles. Also, its movement speed is pretty good. Number 24 is the Monster Cannon. I know it's really flimsy, but its gun is very powerful. It has some really good knockback, and also its height advantage is really good, along with really good front protection. This car is definitely underrated. Number 23 is the Monster Bus. Its front protection isn't the best, its back protection is pretty good, its movement speed is really good as well. Also, it's a really heavy car. Number 22 is the Dual Socket Cannon. Its survivability is really low because it can easily just snipe itself anytime, and it's really annoying. Number 21 is the Santa Sleigh. All in all, its protection is really good. It can protect its head in the front with the reindeers, and the presents protect it in the back, meaning that it's a very good defensive car. And I know the reindeer's wheels do get messed up sometimes, but we'll just ignore that for this this ranking. Number 20 is the Serpent. This car's physics is way different from any other car I've seen, at least. It likes to bend a lot, twist a lot. Number 19 is the Superstar Dragster. This car can rush opponents, and also its protection is pretty good. Number 18 is the Chinese Dragon, and this car's body structure is made so that it has defense on both sides, even though its head is really exposed. Number 17 is the Dune Buggy. Again, another rusher. Just likes to rush opponents a lot. Number 16 is the Electric Reindeer. It has a really strong lightning blast, and its protection is made so that it can't really be affected by its own destructive power. Number 15 is the Hercules Beetle, and this car is really strong, and its knockback is also very strong. This car can be really good for 1v1s and Battle Arena. Number 14 is the Rocket Fist. This car is really fast, and its knockback is extremely strong. It's possibly one of the best 1v1 cars in the game. Number 13 is the Crystallizer. It's a really good defensive car. It can freeze opponents and kill them, but make sure to always use the backside. Number 12 is the T-Rex. This car is already strong, and combined with its ability to chomp opponents, it just makes it even stronger. Number 11 is the dual snowballer. This car can shoot snowballs, obviously. It has a very wide range, meaning that it can hit opponents fairly easily. Traction is really good. It covers its head on both sides. Number 10 is the two-sider. This car can go upside down. It also has a very wide range at the bottom, meaning that it can also very easily hit opponents. Number 9 is the compensator. This car got a massive buff with its nitro boost. It can just like ram into opponents like crazy. It's just really OP. Number 8 is the gyro car. This car's acceleration and speed is just really good. Its head is also really enclosed, meaning that its traction is actually not that bad. Number 7 is the monster truck. This car is fast, it's really strong, and it has a really good height advantage against most cars. Number 6 is the soccer monster. This car is really strong. Its only disadvantage is that it can shoot itself with the soccer balls, and that's just the most annoying thing ever. Number 5 is the Dracula carriage. This car has a really good height advantage. Obviously, it's really strong and really fast. Also, its head can bend a little bit, meaning that it has a lot of bounciness. Number 4 is the Ghost Dragon. It isn't too fast, but it has a pretty normal movement speed. Its most OP ability is obviously to shoot fire through opponents, instantly killing them. Number 3 is the Rift Monster. This car's head is very enclosed. It's also really fast and strong and heavy. Number 2 is the Classic Monster. This car has better protection than the Rift Monster, which means it's going to be higher in the list, obviously, because all these monsters are basically the same. And at number 1 is the Dragon Monster. This car is a really good rusher, and its protection is really good.